Okay, I have a couple sort of like keeping them honest type stories for you today. We have been covering the scams, grifts, and crony con jobs that have been many of the contracts given out during the Trump administration. And that includes the PPE company that was only around for 2 months with no employees, that was given a massive contract to be basically a middleman for PPE back in 2020. Earlier this week, we talked about API Ject, the company given a $1.3 billion combination of contracts and loans to make vaccine syringes. We're about 200 million doses in. They haven't even built the factory. They've got not a single vaccine syringe out there. And this next story is actually about some of these so-called deals that Donald Trump made back in 2016 and 2017. And even before being inaugurated in 2016, he announced one or two and then made some in 2017. You might remember that Donald Trump once bragged about a supposed $10 billion deal and factory in Wisconsin that he, I guess, convinced the company Foxconn to make. He once referred to this deal as the, quote, eighth wonder of the world. And there was really big fanfare about it at the White House in July of 2017. Trump saying it's $10 billion. It's 13,000 jobs. It's an incredible example of how I'm doing my America first thing of manufacturing coming back to the United States. And it was all going to be incredible. It would be a factory for cutting edge flat panel televisions and monitors. And it would make Wisconsin a destination for tech firms. And it was all going to be just great. But some of us were suspicious for a couple of different reasons. Number one, Foxconn is a sly company with a very charismatic founder and then chairman, Terry Gou, who is very PR thirsty. And a lot of it seemed like it was mostly about public relations. And we were also skeptical of these deals that are really just, hey, take some money and do me a favor, rather than economic policy. And indeed, there were reports that even executives at Foxconn at the time were skeptical that this was ever going to happen, not the least of which was because the suppliers for the LCD panels they were supposedly going to make were nowhere near Wisconsin. And it made very little sense to actually manufacture those there. Case in point, the project never started as described. And now Foxconn is announcing, 4 years later now, we're going to scale back what that project is going to be. And instead of $10 billion, Foxconn has announced it will be $672 million. Not nothing, but that's a 93% reduction in the dollar value of the project. Trump also bragged it would bring 13,000 jobs to Wisconsin. Foxconn now says, well, it's not going to be 13,000. It's going to be 1,454, which is an 89% reduction in the number of jobs that were promised and that Donald Trump announced. So should this surprise us? No. But there's another aspect to this. I said at the time, when Donald Trump and Mike Pence were doing their victory tours announcing, Foxconn is coming to Wisconsin and Carrier air conditioner is staying in, I think it was Indiana. I pointed out at the time, even if true, and of course with many of these deals, as we're now seeing, it wasn't true, but even if true, those deals were not economic policy. They were not scalable. They were Trump giving specific companies a bunch of cash, often in the form of tax breaks or loans that sometimes don't even need to be repaid, to do a specific thing that might not even be dictated by the market. Like, for example, Foxconn making LCD panels in a place that's really far from where they get all of their parts. And at the time, the Foxconn deal was denounced by many in Wisconsin who were rightly saying, this is a tax giveaway to a foreign company. They're getting tax breaks. They're getting water rights. They're getting the green light to acquire and demolish houses via eminent domain to build their factory. It's not economic policy. You can't scale this. It's just a handout. Trump bought the deal with our tax money, and that's exactly what this is becoming. Now, Foxconn did start buying houses to demolish for their factory. They are going to do it eventually, but it will be 90% smaller than was promised. And in fact, they're not even going to be building a factory for the flat panel displays. That detail has also changed. They're going to be making server components and communications technology products and maybe medical devices, which is fine. But every detail fell apart from the original deal, and it will be 10% of what it was promised to be 5, 6 years later. Who even knows when? So the project is another microcosm of the Trump presidency in sum total. And it wasn't just Trump taking his victory laps with this project. Then Republican Governor Scott Walker and the Wisconsin Republican Party at the time were also loudly bragging and boasting about this. And it has become absolutely it's become pennies on the dollar what it was supposed to be, riding on our tax money, an important detail. I spend a lot of time every day looking at a computer screen, and peer-reviewed studies have shown that blue light from screens can lead to eye strain, blurred vision, headaches, dry, watery eyes. That will not be a problem for you once you get Blue Block's glasses, which filter out blue light to help your eyes. They are one of our sponsors today. Blue Block's glasses are developed and built in actual optics labs. They've been extensively tested for effectiveness. There are over 40 different styles to choose from. These are my Blue Block's glasses. I like the look. I've noticed a huge difference where I'm not getting that eye strain or the headaches from the computer screen because of the Blue Block's glasses. They really have something for everyone, a prescription version, non-prescription, reading glasses, and Blue Blocks is giving you 20% off when you go to blueblocks.com/Pakman and use the code Pakman. The link is right underneath this video, and you will get free shipping on orders over $115.